What's up, everybody? Steve Barton here. Thank you for tuning in. If you're liking these videos, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. All right, today we're going to be talking about silver. This video came as I was talking to a friend who had some money on Voyager. And if you guys know the story with Voyager, all that has gone to Voyager heaven, just like the FTX. So she was asking me, well, what do I do? And my suggestion was put a little bit in precious metals, put some maybe in gold or silver. And she's like, well, I don't really understand that. I said, well, it's something real, it's something tangible. And I asked her, I said, which would you rather have? That 15,000 that you had on Voyager that now went to Voyager Heaven, they were essentially numbers on a screen. Or would you rather have something physical, tangible that you can always go in and turn in a coin dealer and take paper money, right? It's something real. It's something tangible. It's a way to store some of your purchasing power, some of your currency that you're not likely to need unless it's an emergency, and store it in that physical metal. So with that 15 grand, let's say she had pulled it off before Voyager closed their doors. At 15 grand, I just bought some Buffalo rounds the other day for $25 an ounce. 15,000 divided by 25 bucks is about 600 ounces of silver. Something real, something tangible, right? You don't need a lot. This is just in case of an emergency, but it's a real easy way to store wealth and to pass it on from generation to generation, right? When my grandfather started buying silver, he was buying it at $4 an ounce. What is it now? The spot price today was $23. It keeps up with inflation. The more they print, the more the value in dollars or whatever your local currency is goes up. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. This is an article from Jeff Clark. He's an author for thegoldadvisor.com. He's going to be a guest on the show here soon. It says, how long can silver stay cheap? Miners share a clue. So he goes on to talk about the average all-in sustaining costs of producers is currently $19.33 per ounce. The silver price was in the low 20s through June of this year, but since then has averaged just $19.55, barely above the industry's average production cost. Okay, that can't go on forever. And one of the ways that they're able to keep this cost as low as 1933 is because they're going after the highest grades in their deposit. In other words, the way silver and gold works is they have these veins, from volcanic eruptions, and it all kind of gathers and collects in one vein. Well, what they're doing right now is they're mining those big veins and kind of leaving out the little arteries and capillaries out there for later, because the only way they can make a profit is just go after the biggest stuff. Well, eventually that big deposit is going to run out and they're going to have to filter in down to those arteries and veins. And when that happens, silver is going to skyrocket because it's going to cost a lot more to move back to that lower grade ore and mine it. To give you an idea of the market cap of this, Starbucks, Jeff writes, is worth 112 billion. Okay, so a coffee company, their market cap is 112 billion. At $20 silver price, estimated supply this year is worth roughly 20 billion. So to put that into perspective, if Starbucks were to liquidate and buy up the 2022 annual supply, they could do that 5.5 times. Okay. Another neat one here, Apple's cash level of 179 billion in cash for Apple. If they were to liquidate their cash and turn it into silver, they could buy the 2022 annual supply, what is that, 9 times. Okay, that's how small, that's how tiny this market is. All right, so it's not going to take a lot of cash coming into this for this to go parabolic. Now, of primary silver miners, the primary silver industry is tiny. So here you can see gold is 225 billion, copper 118 billion, steel 69 billion, iron ore 36 billion, silver 21.9 billion. These are the primary silver miners. If you liquidated them, they'd be 21.9 billion. Look here, uranium is even smaller. We like this one, 19.6 billion. Okay, very small market cap. Does not take a lot of money coming into this for this to go parabolic. Here is the silver graph over the last 25, 30 years or so. And this is where we are right now. We're at $23 silver. We've been trading between 30 bucks and we even got down to 18 here for a brief moment in time. And right now we're at about the middle of it at 23 in this little window here. Now, when people become concerned about the purchasing power of their currency, these precious metals tend to go parabolic. Here's an example down here at the 2008 financial crisis. Silver went from $9 all the way up to 50 just in a few years. If we look at this, I think this part is kind of like where we were back here. Okay? Look at what silver did after that. Look at what they're doing with the currency. They're printing it away. In order to buy silver, we're going to have to take more dollars to purchase these things. I'm not suggesting that we, put everything in this. You don't need a lot. For me personally, I have about 6% of my net worth in the physical metal, and then another 4 or 5% in the miners and some junior miners, and that's my gamble, my leveraged bet on this, right? You don't need a lot, right? But all I'm suggesting is that you take some of the extra currency that you have every month, whether that's $10 or whether it's $1,000 or 10 grand or whatever it is, and put it into something tangible. Put it into it's another way to store wealth. It's another way to store your money. You can store some of your money in the bank. You can store some of your money in the form of houses. You can store some of your money in the form of silver. You can store some of it in the form of gold. I had someone write me an email and they said, Steve, I am really strapped and I only have a few extra dollars each week. What could I do with it? And it really broke my heart. And then I thought, silver dimes right now are about $2. Even if you only have an extra $6 a week, you could go down to your local coin store and you could buy 3 silver dimes. And there's something about this metal, when you hold it in your hand, you realize that this is real. You take those 3 silver dimes and you take 3 regular pot metal dimes that we have now, and you can see and you can feel the difference. This is a way to store your wealth. And that's all I'm suggesting, is store your money in different places, right? If she had all of her money on Voyager, that would suck. It would all be gone. But if you have some on Voyager, you have some on Vanguard, you have some at the bank, you have some in paper cash, and you have some in these metals, if any one of those goes away, it's not a huge hit. Does that make sense? I hope you guys got something out of this. Please like and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time.